He said he was working late. Then I watched him kiss another woman on Instagram Live. I wasn't even following the account that posted it. My best friend Talia sent it to me, with no context, except 3 fire emojis and, "Isn't this your man?" It took a second to load, but once it did, there he was. Jesse, standing on a rooftop bar in West Hollywood, holding a glass of something brown and expensive, leaning into a girl with beachy blonde hair and a backless dress. The angle was slightly tilted, someone filming casually from across the patio. Music playing, laughter, and then he kissed her, full, on the mouth. Not a work buddy kiss, a claimed her hours ago kiss. The comments were still rolling in. "OMG, Jesse, what the F? Bro has a whole GF. Wait, isn't he taken? Go off, queen." It was streaming from a TikTok influencer's phone, someone I didn't even know, but who had over 300K followers and a habit of capturing background drama like a goddamn human CCTV. Her username was @livefordrama, and tonight she'd struck gold. My gold. I froze. Because today, literally today, was our 3rd anniversary. The one he'd totally spaced on because of a crisis at the agency. He'd texted me around 3 p.m. "Babe, I feel like shit. I totally forgot. Rain check dinner this weekend. Swamped right now." And like an idiot, I'd sent back, "Of course, go save the world. I love you." Meanwhile, he was tongue deep in a stranger with 90s butterfly clips and a laugh like a blender. I rewatched the video 3 times. Same kiss, same Jesse, same betrayal. But then, at the 47-second mark, something else happened. The woman he was kissing pulled out her phone, flipped the camera, and winked at the screen. And in the reflection behind her, another girl, brunette in a red mini dress, watching them. Not with shock, with boredom, like she'd seen this before. I sat up straighter. Talia was still texting. "Girl, did you see the brunette? She's in the background of like 3 other videos on that account. I think she's with him too." "You want me to ask Liv? She replies to DMs sometimes." I didn't answer. I was already on @livefordrama's page, scrolling. There it was, a video from last week, same rooftop bar. Jesse, again, wearing a different button-down, arms slung casually around the same brunette. He whispered something in her ear. She laughed and swatted his chest. My blood turned to ice. This wasn't a one-time thing. It was a loop, a pattern, a fucking highlight reel of my boyfriend 2-timing me in HD. I screen recorded everything. I needed proof, not for him, he didn't deserve that courtesy, but for me, so I wouldn't forget, so I wouldn't convince myself it was a misunderstanding. But the worst was yet to come, because while I was still in shock, watching my own relationship explode through someone else's filter, a new live started on Liv's account. Talia texted, "She's going live again right now." I clicked. The screen loaded with choppy music and shaky angles, the kind of chaotic background noise only a rooftop lounge could provide. Liv's voice came through first. "Okay, guys, part 2. I swear on my mom, Jesse and Blondie are still here and things are getting wild." My heart slammed. The camera panned around. There was Jesse. Blondie was in his lap now, whispering in his ear. Liv zoomed in with the kind of precision usually reserved for wildlife documentaries. The audio picked up a voice. Jesse's, slurred but distinct. "Nah, it's fine. Ray thinks I'm in a meeting. She's so chill, bro." Ray. Me. The comment section exploded. Did he just name drop his girl? Oh, he's toast. Fire. Ray, if you see this, babe, run. Someone tag @RayRomero right now. My name, my full name, on a viral live stream with 12,000 viewers and climbing. I couldn't think, couldn't breathe. He wasn't just cheating. He was bragging about it. I clicked out of the live and dialed him. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Nothing. Talia was texting in all caps now. "He's done! I hope you burn his stuff! Want me to key his car?" I was halfway to rage tears when a new DM popped up on my screen from a username I didn't recognize. @HazelNotBasic. "Hi, you don't know me, but I'm the brunette in the background. I think we've both been played."
Hazel, not her real name obviously, was already waiting in a Starbucks parking lot when I pulled in, heart hammering and palms sweating like I was walking into a stim operation. She waved me over, dark hair pulled into a messy bun, sunglasses perched on top of her head like she hadn't slept. There was no drama in her body language, just tired clarity. "You must be Ray," she said. I nodded. "And you're Hazel?" "Not really. Burner account. Safety first." She gave me a half smile. "Also, I didn't want to believe it either." She pulled out her phone and handed it to me. Gallery open, dozens of photos. Jessie in different outfits, always in the same 2-mile radius in West Hollywood. Sometimes holding Hazel's hand, sometimes with his arm around her shoulders. Always with that look. The lean-in, the private joke, the "this is exclusive" lie. I met him 6 months ago, at a gallery opening. He told me he'd just gotten out of something emotionally abusive and wasn't sure he could date again. I almost laughed. He told me you were unstable. Hazel snorted. "Cool. I'm the designated crazy ex." "No, I am." She blinked. "Wait, you broke up?" "Not officially. I was still waiting for our anniversary dinner when I saw him on Instagram Live." Hazel winced. "Oof. Did you know about the blonde?" Hazel hesitated. "I knew about a blonde," she said slowly. "He said it was casual, that she was clingy. He showed me texts, said she was love-bombing him." I clenched my fists. "He told me she was his coworker, that she kept hitting on him, but he wasn't interested. He said you were just a friend he was helping through a divorce." Hazel stared at me. Jesus. And then, like clockwork, our phones lit up at the same time. Live for Drama had posted again. A new video. This one, different. It wasn't a kiss. It wasn't a party. It was Jessie's apartment door. And standing outside it, the blonde, holding flowers, smiling nervously. She knocked, waited, knocked again. Liv whispered from behind the camera, "Girl brought flowers and he ain't answering." The comments were brutal. "Oh no, sis. Not the side chick delivering florals. Plot twist, he's inside with another one, dead. And then Hazel stepped into the frame. Real time froze. The clip was from 3 nights ago. Hazel and Blondie. Same street, same frame. Only Hazel had just arrived and clearly didn't know Blondie was there. You could see her pull up in her Prius, pop out with a Trader Joe's bag, walk up the steps. Liv didn't say a word. She just kept filming. The moment Blondie turned around and saw Hazel, the flicker of confusion, recognition, betrayal. Jessie never opened the door. The video ended with both women standing in silence, a bouquet in one hand, frozen like statues. Hazel looked at me. I didn't know she was there. He told me she was off the grid for a while. I nodded, swallowing the burn in my throat. He's good. Too good. She muttered. He scripts everything, rehearses his lies like it's marketing strategy. I should have noticed. I opened my phone, hands trembling. There was another DM, from Blondie, at the Audrey edit. Hi, Ray. You don't know me, but I know about you. Can we talk? Hazel looked over my shoulder. "That's her," she whispered. "That's the girl from the video." I didn't hesitate. I wrote back, "Yes, us three. Tonight. We compare stories. No more secrets." Audrey replied instantly. "Agreed. There's something I need to show you both anyway. Something about Jesse's Instagram drafts." "Drafts?" Hazel tilted her head. "What the hell is she talking about?" I don't know. But if it's what I think it is." I didn't finish the sentence because suddenly my phone buzzed again. This time with a screen-recorded video, airdropped from an unknown contact. The caption read, "This never made it to his feed. Wonder why?" I hit play. Jesse, shirtless, standing in front of his bathroom mirror, speaking directly to camera like it was a motivational speech. "I'm not the villain. I never lied. I just compartmentalized. Too well. Women always want to own you, but I'm not something to be kept. I'm something to be experienced." Hazel recoiled. Audrey texted again. "That video? He filmed it 2 days ago. Meant to post it as his reframe after breakups. I found it in his drafts when he went to shower." Another message. "There's more. You're not going to believe what he's been recording." Hazel and I stared at each other. "Recording what?" I said aloud. That's when Audrey dropped the bomb. A single screenshot. A TikTok live countdown. Set for Saturday night. Captioned, "When they all find out. Going live at 8 p.m. PST."
Saturday, 7:52 p.m. Hazel and I sat frozen in her car, parked 2 blocks from Jesse's apartment. Audrey was on FaceTime, pacing her studio in Brooklyn like a woman waiting for a bomb to drop. And in a way, she was. 8 minutes, she said, her voice low. "We still doing this?" Hazel gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white. "Hell yes." I nodded. He wanted us all in the same place. He just didn't expect it to be without him. The plan had snapped into place fast. Audrey would watch the TikTok live go up. Hazel and I would be physically close in case he tried something offline, and all 3 of us had screen recorders ready. Because Jesse wasn't just toxic, he was terminally online. And this was his final act. He'd scheduled a public broadcast for when the story broke, like a goddamn disaster pre-roll. But the countdown wasn't about remorse, it was about control. He wanted to frame it, explain it, spin it. Except this time, we'd be watching it together. 7:58 p.m. Audrey pulled out a glass of wine. "Okay, I just want to emotionally prep you both. His drafts folder, it's worse than you think." Hazel raised an eyebrow. "Define worse." "There's a pre-recorded apology video, full-on ring light, piano music, crying. But there's 3 versions, one for each of us." I blinked. "He filmed separate apologies?" "Yeah, they're time-stamped. Mine was filmed last month, Hazel's 2 weeks ago, Ray's, yours was dated yesterday." Hazel and I locked eyes. "He was still playing all of us," I whispered. Audrey added, "The kicker, all 3 videos end with the same line. 'I know I failed you, but I'll never stop loving you.'" Hazel bagged. "Barf." Audrey smirked. "Oh, and one more thing. Each video was titled PR Plan A, PR Plan B, and PR Plan C." Oh my God, he labeled us like campaign strategies. Hazel muttered, "I hope his phone explodes." 7:59 p.m. We were down to the last minute. The 3 of us synced our watches like war criminals on a sting-up. And then the live started. No warning, no intro music. Just Jesse, alone, sitting on a couch, bathed in warm LED light, hair tousled just enough to suggest emotional chaos. He stared into the camera. "Hi, everyone. You're probably here because you've seen the rumors." Hazel snorted. "You mean the receipts?" Jesse continued. "Some of what's being said is true.
Some is being distorted by pain, by people I loved deeply and failed equally. He looked down, sighed, rubbed his face, then stared straight back into the lens. I never meant to hurt anyone, but when you're emotionally fragmented, sometimes you create versions of yourself just to survive. Jesus, Audrey muttered. He's quoting Brené Brown now. Hazel hissed, wait for it. He's building to something. Jesse shifted in his seat, somber. There were 3 women, all of them beautiful, strong, complicated. All of them mirrors I couldn't look away from. Say our names, I dare you. Then came the twist. But there's one woman I owe everything to, because she's the one I built it all for. She's the one I really loved. We all held our breath. He smiled, soft and self-pitying. Ray, this is for you. Hazel screamed. What? Audrey's wine glass hit the table. Excuse me? I said, sitting bolt upright. Jesse stared into the camera like it was my eyes. I know you're watching. You always saw the best in me, even when I gave you my worst. You were the blueprint, the reason I even wanted to try. I blinked. No, he wasn't going to do this. Don't let them rewrite our story. I know I messed up, but I want to tell the truth. For you. He reached off screen. Pulled out a notebook. My breath caught. It was mine. My old brown leather journal, the one I kept in my apartment before he moved in. I hadn't seen it in over a year. How the hell did he... I started. Hazel growled. That's so violating. Audrey chimed in. How the fuck does he even have that? He opened it gently, like scripture. These are Ray's words. She wrote them during our first year together. He started to read. Sometimes I think he's too good for me, like I'll never catch up to his brightness. But God, I want to try. I stared at the screen in horror. That was private. That was never meant to be heard. He flipped the page. When he looks at me, I forget what the world even is. That's the part I'm most scared to lose. I felt sick. This wasn't an apology. It was a rebranding. Hazel whispered, he's using your own words to manipulate the proud. Audrey snapped, we need to cut this. Now. But we couldn't. Because 60,000 people were watching. He closed the notebook. I made mistakes, but I never stopped loving Ray, and if she walks away after this, I'll understand. He looked down, paused, and then looked up again. But I need to say one last thing, something I wasn't supposed to show yet. We froze. He reached off screen, pulled out a small white object, a positive pregnancy test. It was the second time in my life a pregnancy test had changed everything. But this time, I wasn't even in the same room. Jesse held it delicately, like it was proof of sainthood instead of evidence of something much darker. I wasn't going to share this, he said, blinking theatrically into the camera. But since people are questioning everything, I think it's important to show what's real. Hazel let out a low, guttural, no fucking way. Audrey had gone totally silent. I just sat there numb, my ears ringing. My mind raced through every possible timeline. Was it mine? Hazel's? Audrey's? Or worse, a lie? Jessie looked straight into the lens. This test came from Ray's apartment. She told me the news a week ago, but she was scared, said she needed time, so I gave her space. Hazel turned to me, eyes wide. You're pregnant? No, I croaked. That's not mine. That's not even from my bathroom. Jesse continued, voice low, like he was narrating a documentary about grief and growth. When she told me, I knew I had to change, that all of this, these mistakes needed to stop.
I wanted this to be the start of something better for us, for the baby. I felt like I was gonna throw up. He wasn't just love bombing me now, he was hijacking a narrative I hadn't written. Hazel leaned forward. Is it fake? I don't know, I whispered, but I haven't been pregnant, not recently. Audrey texted us both at once. This is classic reputational sleight of hand. If he paints himself as a future dad, he thinks the hate will soften. Seen it before. I stared at the live chat. It was working. Oh, wow, maybe we don't know the full story. He's still trash, but this is complicated. Ray's pregnant? OMG, no wonder this is messy AF. He's trying his best, guys. Let's chill. This is some rom-com plot twist shit. I slammed my hand against the dashboard. He's turning this into content. Hazel's jaw clenched. We need to flip the script. Audrey came back on FaceTime. Then let's do it. You ready to drop the bomb? I nodded. We'd been preparing for this the moment we saw the live countdown. Hazel pulled up the shared drive folder we'd compiled the night before. Screenshots of Jesse messaging all three of us the same lines, Google Calendar screenshots, date nights with Audrey, meetings with Hazel, and therapy with me on the same days. The full DMs between Jesse and another girl, someone named @MagsInParadise, who he'd been sexting the same week he told me he was too depressed to get out of bed. Most damning of all, a screen-recorded video of Jesse rehearsing the live apology days earlier, practicing his tone in front of a mirror. Pause after mistakes, look down. Don't cry yet. Save it for the test reveal. We uploaded it all in one massive thread to Twitter and Reddit. Title: He faked an apology on TikTok Live and lied about my pregnancy to win the internet. We tagged @LiveForDrama. We tagged the gossip accounts. We tagged BuzzFeed, PopCrave, Dumois, and even @influencers in the news. Within 20 minutes, it was trending. The comments turned fast. Y'all need to see the thread. He rehearsed the whole thing. He stole Ray's journal and faked a pregnancy. This man is diabolical. He's not even hot enough to be this problematic. Oh my God, the receipts are insane. Bro did PR plan A, B, and C. But the best part? @MagsInParadise DM'd us. I've been watching. I had no idea. I have photos. I'll send them now. Photos of Jesse in bed with her. From last weekend. Hazel uploaded them immediately. Audrey made a stitched TikTok that said, "This man faked patternhood to avoid consequences. Let's show him how receipts really go viral." Meanwhile, Jesse's live continued. He had no idea. He was still reading from the stolen journal, still weaponizing old poems I'd written in the margins, still trying to make the internet feel something for him. And then, his phone vibrated. Mid-sentence. He paused. Looked down. We saw the color drain from his face. His eyes darted. Another vibration. Another. He tapped frantically, muttering something off mic, then looked back up. His voice cracked. Okay, so it looks like there's some things being said about me right now? Some new allegations? Hazel burst out laughing. Allegations? Audrey was already screen capturing the meltdown. I just want to say that not everything you see online is the full truth. People edit things, twist things, and then the live cut out. Just like that. Gone. We waited. Refreshed. User @JesseInspired has disabled live access due to policy violations. I collapsed back into my seat. Hazel just whispered, boom. Audrey FaceTimed again, smiling for the first time all night. Girls, I think we just broke the internet. And then my phone buzzed one final time from an unknown number. A text. No words. Just a link to a private Instagram account @TheOtherRay. Profile pic?
a sonogram. Caption: he told me I was the only one.
I didn't open the profile for 2 full minutes. My thumb hovered over the screen like the act itself might detonate something. Hazel was watching me closely. Audrey had gone quiet on FaceTime. "What's it say again?" Hazel asked. I turned the screen so she could see. At the other Ray. Private account. 1 post, 3 followers, following 1. Bio, he told me I was the only one. Profile photo, a black and white sonogram. Hazel swallowed. "That can't be a coincidence." "It's not," I said flatly. "It's a message." Audrey's voice buzzed through the phone speaker. "Okay, but is this a troll? A burner? Like someone making a point?" I hit request to follow. No shame. If someone was claiming my name, holding my trauma hostage, I wasn't going to wait politely for context. 30 seconds later, accepted. 1 post. I tapped it. My heart stopped. It wasn't a generic sonogram. It wasn't a Google image. It was mine. The one I'd taken a photo of the day I lost the pregnancy almost 2 years ago. The one I saved in a private folder labeled Someday. The one I'd never posted, never sent, never even shown Jessie. But there it was, uploaded for strangers to see, stamped with my pain. Hazel gasped. "Wait, that's yours? Yours? I nodded, numb. He must have gone through my phone backup from when we shared the iCloud briefly. Audrey cursed under her breath. "He stole a piece of you, turned it into performance art." Then we saw the caption. I kept quiet when he left. I stayed quiet when he lied. But when he weaponized your grief, I had to come forward. This was never his story to tell. We scrolled to the comments. There were only 3. At Mags in Paradise, I warned him. At Hazel Not Basic, we see you. We believe you. And then, at Ray.Romero, me, he stole from all of us. But this ends now. I didn't remember writing it, but I must have, because my thumb was already hovering over message. Hazel leaned in. "What are you going to say?" I paused, then typed, "Who are you?" 3 dots appeared, then a reply. "My name is Kendall. I met Jessie 3 years ago before any of you. I was pregnant. I lost the baby alone while he was traveling for a project." Hazel covered her mouth. "He ghosted me after, blocked me everywhere. Then I saw your story tonight. I saw what he said about Ray, about the pregnancy, and I realized he was trying to resurrect my loss using your name." I felt sick. Hazel whispered, "He combined your pain with hers." Audrey said, "He built a redemption arc using stolen grief." Another message popped up from Kendall. He said he wanted to be a better man this time, but he was just collecting pieces of us and building a lie. I asked, "Why come forward now?" Her reply chilled me. "Because he messaged me last night after his live got flagged. He said, 'Maybe we should try again. We have unfinished business. Ray isn't ready to forgive me, but you always saw the real me.'" Hazel exhaled. He went crawling back, like a parasite. Audrey was already screen recording. We're adding this to the thread. But Kendall wasn't done. I still have his emails, the ones where he planned a fake miscarriage story to reset public opinion if the pregnancy lie backfired. He called it the Fall of Grace arc. My hands were shaking. He wrote that in an email? Yes. Want the screenshots? Yes. 30 seconds later, they flooded in. And there it was. Email subject line. Strategic redemption narrative. Pregnancy path if Ray doesn't go along. I read the entire thing in stunned silence. He laid out
two scenarios. Redemption arc A, he paints himself as a reformed serial dater who wants to be a father, uses Ray's support as his anchor. Redemption arc B, Ray loses the baby and he stays with her mourning in public, posting vague poetry and recovery updates. A man broken trying to rebuild. I gagged. Hazel muttered, "I've seen villains, but this is sociopathic." Audrey was dead silent for once. Then, "We need to publish everything, full drop, right now." We pulled together the new screenshots, Kendall's messages, and her video testimony. Yes, she recorded one and uploaded it all to TikTok, Twitter, and a new Google Drive folder called The Jesse Files. How one man built an empire on stolen pain. It took 12 minutes to go viral. 30 minutes before BuzzFeed picked it up. By the time Jesse came online again trying to post a Notes app apology, the comments were on fire. "You faked grief to go viral. You stole from women you trusted. You're not misunderstood, you're dangerous. This is not a scandal, this is abuse." Then the final blow landed. @Instagram Comms tweeted, "Due to repeated violations of our authenticity and impersonation policy, user @JesseInspired has been removed from the platform." Jesse was officially deplatformed. The man who weaponized tech to lie? Silenced, deleted, gone. Hazel, Audrey, Kendall, and I watched it happen together. 4 women who had nothing in common but one man's spiral. And in that moment, we weren't victims. We were survivors who took the ending back. But just when I thought it was over, a message came in from an anonymous account. No name, just a short video clip. I pressed play. Jesse, on a boat, smiling into the camera. They think it's over, but endings are just a reset. The camera panned. He was holding someone's hand. A woman, pregnant, wearing a bracelet that said, Ray.
I dropped my phone. It landed face up on Hazel's passenger seat, the final frame still frozen on Jesse's smirk. The water shimmered behind him. The woman next to him, pregnant, glowing, unbothered, wore a delicate silver bracelet etched with 5 simple letters. R-A-E. Hazel was already scrambling to pick the phone up. Audrey was on FaceTime again, her voice sharp, slicing through the panic like glass. "Please tell me this is AI." I shook my head, breath catching. If it is, it's the most realistic deepfake I've ever seen. Hazel hit replay. We watched the video again, frame by horrifying frame. Jesse, grinning on a yacht somewhere sun-drenched and expensive, holding hands with a woman who bore only a passing resemblance to me. She looked younger, softer, like a romanticized version of myself if I'd never been hurt. The caption? "When you can't control the narrative, write a new one." Is this real? Like real? Audrey zoomed in on the woman's bracelet. "That's not your bracelet, is it?" "No, I've never owned anything like that." "Then he made her wear it," Audrey said flatly. "He casted her, like a fucking stand-in." Hazel's mouth fell open. He hired a new Ray. And suddenly, it all clicked. This wasn't a rebound. This was a rebrand. Jesse had been erased from every platform, his viral apology arc torched, his reputation flattened. But instead of disappearing, he rebooted. New woman, new setting, same name, same script. I scrolled back to the video's metadata. It had been sent through a burner Instagram account. No followers, no bio, but the profile pic was of a spiral tattoo. Audrey whispered, "I've seen that symbol before." Hazel's voice dropped. "It's the same one he doodled in his journal when I found it last month." "You saw his journal?"
He left it at my place, a leather sketchbook with notes, mind maps, timelines, like he was plotting every interaction. Audrey said, "You're telling me this man made a fucking storyboard of our lives?" Hazel nodded slowly. "With arrows, color-coded highlighters. He called it narrative control." I felt bile rise in my throat. He was never dating us. He was producing us. Audrey tapped her screen. "We need to know where that video was filmed." "I'll reverse image search the marina," Hazel offered, already swiping furiously. But it was Kendall, quiet, steady Kendall, who DM'd the clue first. "Recognize that boat. It's called the Rebirth. He took me on it once in Marina del Rey, said it was his clean slate space." Hazel raised an eyebrow. "So he's still here?" I nodded. "He never left." "Then we end this." "Not with another post. He wants virality. He feeds off it." Hazel looked at me. "So what's the plan?" I swallowed. "We go analog. No phones, no cameras. Just 3 women and a man who thinks he can reboot reality like it's a YouTube channel." The next morning, we rented a boat. A quiet one. Small, unremarkable, just enough horsepower to drift up beside the Rebirth while it was docked. Hazel brought pepper spray, Audrey wore mirrored sunglasses and a black hoodie. I brought the original sonogram, folded neatly in my pocket like a truth bomb, ready to drop. We found Jesse lounging on the deck, drink in hand, the new Ray sunbathing beside him. He didn't see us until it was too late. Audrey threw the line, Hazel tied it off, and I climbed aboard. His face went pale. "Ray?" "Not yours," I said. He stood up, flustered, trying to block me from the girl on the towel. "What are you doing here?" "I came to meet my replacement," I said, looking directly at her. She sat up slowly. I'm Rachel." Of course she was. I turned to Jesse. "You couldn't let the real story die, so you cloned it." He stepped forward. "This isn't what it looks like." "No," Audrey said. "It's worse." Hazel followed. "You casted another Ray. You used the pregnancy again. You recreated the entire mythology." Rachel, new Ray, looked confused. "He told me he named the boat after our rebirth, after his divorce." I shot Jesse a look. "You never were married." He paled. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the sonogram. "This," I said, holding it up, "was stolen from my phone from a pregnancy I lost, that he turned into a narrative prop." Rachel looked horrified. "He used this to lie to all of us, to sell stories, to manipulate followers, to stage grief for attention." She stared at Jesse. "Is this true?" He didn't answer, which was answer enough. Audrey took Rachel's hand gently. "You can leave with us. You don't have to be the next version of someone else's story." Rachel blinked, then nodded. Her voice cracked. "I never knew. I thought he was healing." Hazel muttered. "He's always healing, never healed." We left Jesse standing on the deck, alone with his fake boat name and expired manipulation tactics. We didn't post about it. We didn't need to. Some stories don't need witnesses. They just need endings. That night, I threw the sonogram into the ocean. Not as a sacrifice, but as a release. I watched it float, then sink, then vanish. No longer a relic of something stolen, but something reclaimed. And for the first time in months, I felt still. But just before I went to bed, my phone buzzed. A new account had tagged me in a post. "At the final narrative." The caption? She thought it was over, but every story has an epilogue.
The tag notification hit at 2:14 a.m. By 2:16, I was wide awake, phone clutched in my hand like a loaded weapon. At the final narrative had posted one photo. It was grainy, cropped, clearly shot from a distance. But the subjects were unmistakable. Me, Hazel, Audrey, Rachel. All 4 of us, on the dock, boarding our rented boat, The day we confronted Jesse. The caption? They say they walked away, but someone stayed long enough to watch. Hazel texted first. Did you see the post? This feels threatening. Audrey followed. I reverse searched the account. It's only 3 hours old. Burner. But the metadata on that photo, it's geotagged. Marina Del Rey. Same doc. Same day. I felt ice spread down my spine. Someone had been filming us, documenting our takedown like we were the spectacle. But who? Rachel messaged next. I'm sorry, I think this is my fault. I called her immediately. She picked up on the first ring. Her voice was shaky. She said, after I left the boat, I didn't go straight home. Where did you go? I met someone at a coffee shop down the street. He said he recognized me from TikTok. He was really sweet. Said he'd been following everything. That I was brave. My stomach dropped. Rachel, did you give him your name? No, she whispered. But I think he knew it anyway. Hazel and Audrey were already texting me in parallel. This is starting to feel like he's not alone. Like someone's helping him craft the next chapter. That's when it hit me. He never needed to post again. He just needed other people to post for him. His followers, his sympathizers, his ghostwriters. We weren't just characters in his content anymore. We were content creators by proximity. Jesse had outsourced the narrative, and now it was mutating. That same night, the @thefinalnarrative account posted again, a carousel of images. Each one a meme, a twisted reframing of everything we'd exposed. A black and white photo of Jesse looking anguished. When grief becomes content, who's the real villain? A split screen of our tweet thread next to a clip of Jesse from his TikTok live. 3 women, 3 stories, 1 broken man. And worst of all, an edited version of the sonogram with my handwriting blurred out. This isn't evidence, it's emotion. Hazel DM'd the account. No reply. Audrey tried reporting it. Instagram flagged it as not violating community guidelines. Rachel sent a final message. He told me he was done, that he'd let me go. But this isn't letting go. I knew then we were no longer fighting Jesse. We were fighting his legacy. A curated myth. A decentralized cult of romanticized betrayal. He wasn't posting anymore because he didn't have to. Every caption, every quote, every repost kept him alive. Digital Lazarus. Reborn in comments. Retweeted in nuance. Romanticized in pain. A week later, I met Kendall for coffee. The original other Ray. The woman whose grief had been twisted first. She slid a flash drive across the table. Final puzzle piece, she said. It contained footage. Not from the dock. From Jesse's old apartment, before he moved in with me. A mounted GoPro, forgotten in a corner. Files never deleted. And there he was, late at night, shirtless, typing, reading his own text messages out loud like lines from a script, practicing eye contact in the mirror, rewriting captions 5, 6, 7 times. One line stood out. He looked straight into the camera, his own camera, and whispered, "If I control the pain, I control the story. If I control the story, I stay alive." I closed the laptop. And for the first time, I didn't feel rage. I felt pity.
because Jesse didn't know the real secret of storytelling. Eventually, someone else gets to write the ending. So I did. I wrote this. All of it. Not for views. Not for revenge. But for someone like me scrolling at 2 a.m., feeling that weird ache in their chest, wondering if they're overreacting, can read this and know you're not crazy. He just rehearsed that lie more times than you rehearsed your boundaries. As for Jesse, he exists only in screenshots now. A cautionary tale. A failed reboot. A ghost in the comment section. But I'll tell you this, if he ever tries to come back, we'll write that ending, too.